Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks everyone for coming tonight. Here we are live, correct?
Correct.
And welcome to our guests at home. Just want to say a couple words before we start today. And thanks, Rob. You'll make me start now. Before we start today, I want to make sure that we say thank you to our community for showing up for the Christmas walk, and also to our vendors and our business district. And I'm not going to forget this one. Don't want to forget our maintenance department that went the extra mile to make sure it all happened. And I want to thank this guy over here in particular because of the fact that he put in countless hours. We're talking, well, you don't even want to know. Let's just put it this way. 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, nonstop, almost all day, something was going on, had to be resolved. Tremendous amount of work. And I don't also want to forget Kevin Burns, who's kept this thing going for our village for a number of years, because it wouldn't have been happening at all without him. So thank you very much for that. And we're going to begin our meeting. And what I'd like to do is make sure everybody is aware that Ms. Bolt is absent today. We'll talk about that in a second. So Penny, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Burns.
Present.
Ms. Angeline.
Here.
Ms. Meyer.
Here.
Ms. Meister.
Here.
Mr. Babel.
Here. Did you call Ms. Bolton or not?
Ms. Bolton.
Okay.
But you said she was gone, so I
She's
didn't know.
absent. So we have 5 present. We have a quorum. At this point, I'm going to just get off the agenda for a second because we do need to excuse Mrs. Bolton for she has a family event that she's attending, and so I ask that you make a motion to approve her absence tonight. So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Babel and seconded by Ms. Meister. Any questions? Penny, please call the roll.
Mr. Burns.
Yes.
Ms. Angeline.
Yes.
Ms. Meyer.
Yes.
Ms. Meister.
Yes.
Mr. Babel.
Yeah. Motion passes 5-0. At this point, you should have in your packet the council meeting minutes from 11/12/25. That was a regular council meeting, not a special. I know we've had a number of special ones, but this is a regular one. And Penny, thank you for catching that. So if you have questions about this, if not, I'm gonna ask for a motion to approve the minutes. Motion to approve. Motion made by Mr. Babel. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Angeline. Any further discussion? Penny, please call the roll.
Mr. Burns.
Yes.
Ms. Angeline.
Yes.
Ms. Meyer.
Yes.
Ms. Meister.
Yes.
Mr. Babel.
Yay. Also in your packet, you should have pay ordinance 12-2025. And Ms. Ozer is here tonight, so if you have questions about the pay ordinance, I would ask that you direct those to her first.
I do have one question on 1114 Bravo Max. What was that? It's 4,327.
Oh, I didn't mark them this time.
Oh,
I usually mark them. Do you remember what that was offhand?
That's a waterworks, it's for the security camera equipment
Oh,
and installation of
Okay.
the waterworks.
Yeah, with Waterworks. I'm sorry, I normally mark it.
that's okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
What's the EPA charge?
That's the permits. Did you take care of that yesterday? EPA?
Yes, I have to remember, the Ohio EPA, it's permitting for the waterworks, US 50 Addison project. It'll be reimbursed with the grant at a later time.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? I'm sorry, pay ordinance.
I'll make a motion to approve the pay ordinance.
Motion is made by Ms. Meister. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Burns. Any further discussion? Penny, please call the roll.
Mr. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Angeline,
Yes.
Ms. Meyer,
Yes.
Ms. Meister,
Yes.
Mr. Babel.
Yeah. Okay, next on the agenda is public comments and feedback. We usually have a little spiel that we read here. Generally speaking, all we're asking is that people will go ahead and you want me to go with share.
Yes, okay.
That wasn't on the agenda. Dempsey, would you like to come forward and give your report tonight?
Sure.
Yeah, the report's on. Sorry.
Well, thanks for having me back. For the incident and criminal reports for the month of November 2025. During the reporting period, there were 138 billable calls for service, bringing the total cost of service for the year to 1,386. There were 84 non-billable calls for service, total for the year of 903. Dispatch history spreadsheet, including the call signs and the responding units, has been provided to the committee. The average response time was 7 minutes. The average time on scene was 13 minutes for this one. Like a report, fireworks in the background. During the reporting period, there were 14 incident reports taken. 5 of those were non-criminal incident reports. Non-criminal incident reports were taken for an officer escorting a landlord on the property, a missing person, found property, and 2 medical runs requiring a report. There were also 9 criminal incident reports, 1 for fireworks, 1 for assault. There was a warrant issued for that. 2 sex offenses. 1 was a report only for the victim, and 1 was sent to CIS with evidence recovery. There were 5 drug and narcotics reports taken with arrests. 4 of those resulting from traffic stops, and 1 was a pedestrian violation resulting in a drug offense. 1 fraud, which was found to be unfounded, and there was 1 case assigned to detectives for investigation during this reporting period. During this reporting period, there were 50 proactive details, field-initiated investigations, directed patrols, and places found open. 1 of those resulting in a drug arrest on 20 South Miami. Stopping somebody talking, resulting in a drug arrest. So, guys are out there doing a good job. Traffic report includes, there were 2 crash reports during this reporting period, 1 on West 50 and, West State and 50, and 1 in the lot of 56 Cooper, which is the school. There was 1 injury suspected and 1 property damage only. There were also 26 traffic stops conducted, 20 warnings were issued, and 6 citations were issued. US 50 in Mount Nebo, North Miami and Markland, US 50 in Cooper, 2 of those on US 50 in Cooper, 1 North Miami and West State, 1 US 50 in Mount Nebo. I've also listed what those are for on the report if you wish to know. Noteworthy incidents and events during the reporting period. First and foremost, the parade, Christmas walk, which to my knowledge went to talk about a kick, so reach out on that. On 11/2, there was a failure to comply, leaving the scene of an auto accident. We talked about this last month, just going back to this, during this reporting period. This is when Deputy Buckmeyer attempted the next traffic stop on US 50 in Mount Nebo for an equipment violation. Vehicle was slow to stop, however, stopped on the lot of the town hall in South Miami. The driver was identified and found to be driving under suspension, was asked to step out of the vehicle. The driver put the vehicle in drive and fled. He was able to get away on foot, but he crashed his vehicle on Cooper Avenue. The vehicle was inventoried prior to tow, narcotics were located. Warrants were filed for the suspect. On 11/14, the trafficking in drugs, possession of drugs, and the driving under suspension on US 50 in West State, and that was at 11:03 p.m. Deputy Horrible conducted a traffic stop on a maroon 2007 Ford station wagon after leaving a known drug house on Three Rivers Parkway. The driver was found to be driving under suspension. Upon conducting a roadside investigation, a large amount of methamphetamine was found inside the vehicle, along with several baggies of pills and a small amount of marijuana. A passenger, a female white 48, was found in a meth pipe in her possession. 3 new detectives responded to interview both suspects. Both were charged accordingly and transported to the Justice Center. And assisting him was Deputies Buckmeyer and Robinson. Job well done by those guys. Another good arrest. On 11/15, another drug possession and a felony warrant arrest on 248 South Miami. 7:44 a.m., Kevin Singleton conducted a traffic stop in front of 248 South Miami. After a license plate query returned an active felony warrant for drug possession on the registered owner. Upon approach, the driver suspect was positively identified and taken into custody without incident. Suspect was then found in possession of a plastic baggie containing methamphetamine and glass pipe used to abuse narcotics. The subject was then arrested and transported to JC. On 11/15 as well, 643 North Miami, possession of drugs and felony warrant. Deputy Horrible stopped the vehicle at 643 North Miami. Driver was found to have an open felony warrant for burglary issued by the county. He was also found to be in possession of methamphetamine. Due to the nature of his warrants and contents of the vehicle, CIS was contacted. The vehicle was seized in anticipation of a warrant on the suspect. Oaks was transported to the Justice Center. A little bit of a pattern. So, and then one of the last final thing is a bolo for the citizens. And on 12/3, and I know this isn't during this reporting period, but on December 2nd, Rebecca L. reported being a victim of a phone scam. She was contacted by an unknown individual from a phone number claiming to be a federal court officer. Caller falsely informed her that she had 3 active warrants, contempt of court, failure to appear, and forgery due to missing jury duty. Suspect instructed Rebecca to pay payments via Bitcoin kiosk to avoid arrest. She complied, withdrawing funds from her Fifth Third bank account with a total loss of $11,428. Deputy Wells did that report. So there's a lot of calls coming around about those, so something for folks to be aware of. The end of the report. Any questions?
If you're somewhat of a pattern there, is there indication or intelligence that there's some kind of methamphetamine or other illicit drugs pipeline or pattern of distribution? Is there just a matter of some demand during pleas? We're not speculating. Can you comment?
Yeah, so we have a few target houses in the area that we do have an intel division, and we do have pretty aggressive guys that are, we're out here making traffic stops. So there's guys that know what they're looking for, indicators, and interdiction. The pattern might just be from guys that are doing a good job. It may have always been there. This is people who are possessing it in their cars, driving down the road. With it being on US 50, there's no doubt that it's a major highway for drugs. But I would say all highways are as well. The drug has definitely switched from more of a fentanyl, heroin to methamphetamine. I mean, just by arrests in the last few months, maybe even the last year. But there are definitely target houses and patterns that we monitor, and then we have guys target those areas, if you will, for traffic stops and on what to look for. So yes, but without divulging too much more exactly. Yes, there are hot spots, if you will, that we monitor.
It's kind of specific intelligence. It's not like a nationwide and somebody's formed a cartel and there's the cleaves on them. I don't think there's anything further I can ask you.
Well, there's definitely organization to drug trafficking, and maybe not so much to drug abuse, but there's definitely an organized aspect to every drug sale. There's someone behind it that is organized, and so that's the idea, is to get to them, who eventually does always go back to somebody, maybe not a cartel, but to a quote, use the term bigger fish, and that's the general idea, right? Just keep going up that chain to get the bigger fish, but nothing I would say needs a public release like we don't know of any MS-13 activity. I don't know of any cartel activity in the area, but there's definitely an organized element to drug trade that we have evidence of. and throughout the county, not just.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Sir? Okay, I was gonna start with public comments. Normally, we just simply say a little bit longer than this. Just keep it civil. Got about 3 minutes if you want to speak. Is there anybody out in the audience besides Carrie? She'll be our special guest tonight. That would like to address the council tonight? Not Carrie, why don't you have the floor and
I'll
give
keep
us a
it
report?
really short and sweet. I just have three things. Speaking upon the deputy sheriff's comments about the scamming, we just had a really informative scam prevention talk today. I have paperwork I did not present today. We had an expert from the downtown library. I would be happy to share that with anybody. If you would like it, just connect with me at the library. It's very real and it's very nerve-wracking for me, so it was a lot of helpful information.
Did you videotape that, Carrie?
It was not videotaped, but I have all of the documents. I would be happy to forward those. They all have the active links. So
I appreciate it.
yes, it was a very exhaustive email, and I will give all of the credit to Keith Armour, who is a wonderful resource in our programs and events department. So, but I would be happy to share that. It's extremely necessary and useful. Number two, I just want to thank everybody for all of your hard work with the Christmas walk. I can speak for the library. We had over 700 people just through our front door counters. That's not including we keep the doors open with the senior center. And I know we had a lot of people who came through that way. I heard nothing but wonderful compliments. Everything looked beautiful. I survived the parade. As a person who does not like cold weather, it was fun, and I was so happy for the invite, so thank you. And three, we have our community engagement session tomorrow. It's at 5 p.m. I do know that you have an important meeting tomorrow as well. Thankfully, they're in close proximity to one another. Feel free to come and stay for some of it. And library leadership will be there. And it will be a great opportunity to find out more information, developments, and to ask questions. So if you cannot make it and you have any feedback, any questions or concerns, you can give them to me and I'll certainly pass them up the chain, or you can do so directly on the library's website. Do you have questions for me? No? Okay. I'll get out of your hair. Thank you for giving me time to talk always.
Thanks for coming, Carrie. Okay, so, we have new business. And these are all important. We don't have a lot of new business tonight, but Justin, why don't you start off with, I think our ordinance we're looking at right now is ordinance 34-25, which is amending the 2025 sewer fund appropriations and revenue.
Ordinance 34/2025, an ordinance amending the annual appropriations and estimated revenues of the sewer fund for fiscal year 25 and declaring it an emergency. MSD increases their rates after the first of the year. They did that again. Generally, they do that. They did this year in 25, 3.75% increase. That increased our revenue from what we appropriated prior to them. Additionally, after our full waterworks audit, we
270,000 more revenue.
we've been more accurate in meter readings and capturing
Right.
rates. So as a result of that, we need to increase our revenues by $270,000 for the year and our appropriations by $240,000. If there's any questions?
That'll
on it?
finish out the year, November, December, right?
This is another,
number.
The ordinance will be 34/2025.
25.
this is another Rob Peter to pay Peter thing.
Yeah, it's a house, house. Just something we have to do.
Yes, each year our appropriations are based off of, our best estimate from the year prior and inflation. It's always difficult with MSD because they generally don't come out with their rate increases until after we set our appropriations. So that 3.75% increase in 25 with our additional, our increased effectiveness of meter reading. The good news is our revenues have increased,
Right.
so we need to increase our appropriations as well.
And when we did the appropriations for 2026, we took account, the two of us understanding the sewer district, we increased that in the appropriations for 2026. So hopefully we don't have that problem.
Any other questions? So, due to the fact that we need to suspend the rules here, sorry.
I'm a little confused about the appropriations. That's the money that goes to MSD. But there's also money that comes back to us for doing the meter reading and handling the billing. Is that right? And how much is that?
Yep, so we retain 7% of the total rents collected. So the appropriated amount is what's dispersed to MSD. The revenue is what we originally captured on the water rents and the MSD rents. The appropriated amount is what goes out, what's dispersed to MSD.
To pay them back.
Of
yeah.
that, we retain 7% our MSD fund, and that funds a portion of our clerk's salary, other office items related to the billing.
Any other questions? Council? If there are no further questions, I need to have a motion to suspend the rules.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Babel. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Meyer. Any further discussion? Penny, please call the roll.
Mr. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Angeline,
Yes.
Ms. Meyer,
Yes.
Ms. Meister,
Yes.
Mr. Babel.
Yay.
Motion passes 5-0. Now we need a motion to pass ordinance 34-2025, amending the 2025 sewer fund appropriations and revenue.
Make that motion.
Motion made by Ms. Meister. Do I have a second?
I'll say.
Second by Mr. Burns. Any further discussion? Penny, please call the roll.
Mr. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Angeline,
Yes.
Ms. Meyer,
Yes.
Ms. Meister,
Yes.
Mr. Babel.
Yay.
Motion passes 5-0. Our second ordinance is ordinance 35-2025, which is the 2026 pay and salary range schedule. This went through our finance committee. Our finance chair is not here tonight. But I believe, but my memory serves me correctly, that came out with a unanimous approval. Is that correct?
Yes.
So Justin, do you want to give a little background to this? Thank you.
Sure. We're doing this a little bit different this year. We positioned the pay and salary range schedule before our appropriations. The appropriations include the proposed pay and salary range schedule. So Finance Committee, we worked thoroughly throughout the year to modernize our approach. So if you're looking at the ordinance, you'll see Appendix A, which is the establishment of a job classification pay range. Essentially what we've done over the past year is set a pay range for every position, every job classification in the village. Then in Appendix B, further down, we went through and reviewed each employee and issued cost of living increases, and in some cases, some market rate adjustments. So with that, give you time to review it. If there's any questions, feel free to answer.
Any questions from council?
I'll just add one bit of detail, definitely not nuance, that we kind of had to take a mix of the approaches of expanding the ranges for the cost of living and looking at the individual because of where they were within the market, getting them back on. So this represents a combination of those two approaches. I think as we were discussing this, it was a bit unclear because it was multiple vendors. So if you ever dive into it behind the scenes with a committee member or Cindy, you could get to that point.
Any questions from the audience? Well, once again, we're gonna need to suspend the rules tonight, so I need a motion first to suspend the rules for ordinance 35-2025. And, which is a pay and salary range schedule.
No move.
Motion made by Mr. Babel. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Meister. Any further discussion? Kenny, please call the roll.
Mr. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Angeline,
Yes.
Ms. Meyer,
Yes.
Ms. Meister,
Yes.
Mr. Babel.
Yeah. Motion passes 5-0. Now I need a motion to pass and adopt ordinance 35-2025, the 2026 pay and salary range schedule. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Ms. Meister. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Burns. Any further discussion or questions? There's no further questions. Can you please call the roll?
Mr. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Angeline,
Yes.
Ms. Meyer,
Yes.
Ms. Meister,
Yes.
Mr. Babel.
Yay. Motion passes 5-0. The last ordinance we have tonight is ordinance 36-2025, adopting the annual appropriations for 2026. This also went through our finance committee. Justin, would you give an overview, please?
Cindy's probably better versed to answer questions on this one. This is an annual housekeeping measure. The county and state require that we set our appropriations each year before the beginning of the fiscal year. So if you review here, I've broken it down by fund, from the general fund, maintenance funds, parks, waterworks, all of our enterprise funds and our general fund. These numbers were developed hours and hours of meetings between Ms. Oster and I
And finance.
and the finance committee. We do a deep review of where we're at with revenues. This is carefully considered and drafted between Cindy and I and multiple meetings, finance committee.
We really feel good about it after being, it's hard when you came in here the first year now with us having some knowledge on what's really happening, we really feel good about this. Now, the appropriations, does that mean we're gonna spend it? It's there, it's just like anybody's budget, so. On the revenue side, I feel really good about those numbers. Appropriations,
On the third page, there's the numbers, which I knew my Roman numerals better. I could tell you which sections, but that knowledge has went somewhere else. But,
Or,
so why are some like balance with appropriate? So are we saying we're adding to the balance or like what?
this is what we can spend.
The two with the balance, those are both grant funds that we've received, grants or loan funds that we've received, correct, Cindy?
Oh, Sheila, Miss B.
The bottom two of page 3, so XV, section 15 and section 16, I believe you're talking about the Miami
Yeah.
Avenue Fund.
Oh,
The Miami Avenue Fund that's an MRF grant, which is paid as a loan. Basically, you get state money, they give you a lump sum of money, and then, amortize and we make payments annually. And so there's 49,650.28 cents available in that fund that was created, which diminishes each year. And so this year, we're appropriating $20,000 for payments on that.
right, we know the payments will be that
Okay.
amount, yeah.
Same
Okay.
same in section 16 below, the Waterworks Multi-Project Fund, that's years old. That's when we jack and board for water main under the Miami River.
So then like next year at this meeting, when we're doing the same thing, those will be there, but the balance will be smaller.
Yeah.
and then- Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe 80, probably 29.
Even the
pages.
appropriations will be smaller too, yeah.
Any other questions? Any questions from the audience? There are no questions. I'm gonna ask again that we suspend the rules. I need a motion to do that for ordinance number 37, 30, I'm sorry,
36.
36-2025.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Babel,
Second.
second by Ms. Meister. Any further discussion? Penny, please call the roll.
Mr. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Angeline,
Yes.
Ms. Meyer,
Yes.
Ms. Meister,
Yes.
Mr. Babel.
Motion passes 5-0. Now I need a motion to pass ordinance 36-2025, adopting the annual appropriations for 2026.
Make that motion.
Motion's made by Ms. Meister. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Meyer. Any further discussion? Penny, please call the roll.
Mr. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Angeline,
Yes.
Ms. Meyer,
Yes.
Ms. Meister,
Yes.
Mr. Babel.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Now we're gonna move on to the administrator's reports. And, Justin, would you go through your report, please?
Y'all know it's 4 hours, but I'm gonna keep this very quick. Open up the questions after. So quickly, piggyback on, Mayor's sentiments. Thank you to everyone at the Christmas walk, attendees, volunteers, staff. It wouldn't be possible without everybody's efforts, you know. I appreciate the acknowledgement, but, it wouldn't be possible without our staff, and I know you know that, and they do. So thank you to them. Quick housekeeping. The village expenditures for the Christmas walk this year were just over $3,000 and the grant funded $11,000. I just compiled, all of the expenditures. I gave them to you, Cindy,
Mhm.
on your desk.
Yeah.
So we'll be
Don't worry about it.
closing,
Thanks, I
we'll be
saw that.
closing that up for reimbursement the next week.
If you saw, I had my folder sitting there too.
Yeah, don't give me anything. I'm trying to get rid of it.
I see.
Mini planning grant update. I signed the memorandum of understanding with the county today. And the mayor will sign it this evening or tomorrow. We'll get that back to county administration. We'll be set to send that out to bids at the first of the year. Again, for anyone that's not aware, that's $30,000. And just planning and consultation to develop and outline a plan for our revitalization district on South and North Miami Avenue. We have a Streets Town Hall Committee meeting. It'll be our third and final public hearing on the New Pine Gate issue. That's tomorrow evening. So if anyone's interested in attending or has feedback they'd like us to take in consideration, please be here tomorrow evening. Also, with the Streets Town Hall, we conducted our first survey on our website. I think all of us in the committee were shocked at the response we received. So that's something that was effective, and I think we can use that tool in the future. I think we had over 90 responses.
Yeah.
So it was an effective tool in getting feedback and information from people.
That's at 6 o'clock.
That's at 6 o'clock tomorrow, yes. Real quick on the House Bill 96 legislation, looming deadline of July 1st of 2025. I attended the third Zoom set or web session today on that rollout. And so SWOCA, who's a quasi-state affiliated agency, they're offering services beginning at $10,000 a year for communities. And I'm not saying that is an ask or something that we're going to do here in Cleves. It's just that's how impactful and I guess detailed this legislation is. And there's a lot of work that has to be done. And regardless if we contract out or we complete that internally through our IT vendor, it's going to be costly. It's another expenditure, additional oversight, additional expenditures that need to come along. As part of that, the mayor and I have been working with iPanda to transfer us to a .gov. So early in 26, you'll see a transition from villageofcleves.us to clevesoh.gov. That'll also impact our emails. Additionally, near the first of the year, I'll be placing multi-factor authentication on all emails. It's a requirement of House Bill 96. It's something that we should do sooner than later. As well, we have scheduled work to update our security and IT infrastructure in the coming weeks. And I won't get into that public session because of security reasons outlined. With that, any questions from anyone?
Are options for multi-factor authentication?
We use Google Suite, and so Google Suite has MFA in place that we can utilize.
Any other questions? I'll just make a comment. If you've not been paying attention to the news, I think Gulf Manor was hit. I believe Middletown, there's been information about them being hit. There's ransomware out there that it's a danger. It's a danger to our village, and we need to be prepared for it. So I've sat through those trainings too. I missed today, but I'll watch it because they have it on tape. There's a lot of good information. If we do it the right way, we'll be fine. Any other questions of Mr. Hagan? I'm going to be brief also. We have committee assignments that are going to be coming up here for next year. Last year we did it at this time. But this year, I think what I'd like you to do is take a look at and make recommendations to me which committee you would like to serve on and why. And then from that point, I would also ask you that if you are interested in being a chairperson, let me know that too. And I'd like to have that as quickly as possible so I can review that. But I'd also encourage council members to look at it from a standpoint. Nothing stops you from attending any one of our committee meetings. You know, we post all of our committee meetings. They are public meetings. There's no intent to pass anything at those meetings. That'll happen in a council meeting. But if you want to understand what's going on, whether it be finance or whether it's in the parks, I just want to encourage you, if you have that interest too, I would encourage you to attend because I can't put everybody on maybe the committee they want to be on, but there's nothing wrong with people attending. The other thing that I want to bring up is House Bill 331. And it's something that everybody's going to be hearing about. If you're not, you'll be hearing about it in this next year and definitely by the next census. There are new requirements by the Auditor of State, which villages have to meet. One of them deals specifically with fielding candidates in the election. So in this last election, we had candidates. Even with write-in candidates, we had people that counts. But if there had been one vacancy, okay, just one that was not on the ballot, okay, that could be for any council member or it could be for the mayoral position. That can trigger an election, okay, that would require the citizens as early as 2031, okay, to have a dissolution vote forced upon the village. So residents out there, I'm just making you aware, we have no idea who will be running for re-election in the future, but we need candidates if we're going to stay a village. So those are the only things I want to talk about tonight. I'd be glad to answer any questions that you have on that, council or audience. There are no questions. I would like to let everybody know that I'm going to ask for a motion to go into executive session. There will be no action taken after the executive session. So I would like to read to you the verbiage council will enter an executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 121.22 G1 and 121.22 G4 for the following purposes. And you can see it's long. I don't know how long this took, Rob, for you to create, but so this is to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual, unless the public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual requests a public hearing. Except as otherwise provided by law, no public body shall hold an executive session for the discipline of an elected official or conduct related to the performance of an elected official's duties or the elected official's removal from office. If a public body holds an executive session pursuant to G1 of this section, the motion and vote to hold that executive session shall state one or more of the approved purposes listed in Division G1 of this section are purposes for which an executive session is to be held, but need not include the name of any person to be considered at the meeting. Specifically, the appointment, employment, compensation of public employees, in addition to discuss complaints against public employees. The second one is Ohio Revised Code 121.22 G4. To prepare for, conduct, or review negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of employment, specifically to review negotiations concerning public employees and their compensation. Are there any questions from council members? Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
Oh, no.
Motion made by Mr. Babel. Do I have a second? And second by Mr. Burns. Penny, please call the roll.
Mr. Burns, Ms. Angeline,
Yes.
Ms. Meyer,
Yes.
Ms. Meister,
Yes.
Mr. Babel.
Yeah.
Motion passes 5-0. Why don't we take a 5-minute break here and then we'll go into executive session. Thank you for coming.